Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first edition of Speaking of Zane for 2023. Happy New Year, everybody. This is our 219th edition. We skipped a week over the holiday. I decided that we wouldn't do an edition last week. I've missed it, actually. It's when you go 2 weeks in between, there's a lot to share. But good to have everybody in here for the first Speaking of Zane of the new year. And boy, I don't know if we'll do anything different this year or what we'll have to look forward to this year. We have all the normal activities that we've had over the last several years, including some I'm going to talk about tonight. But let me see who all we have on board here. Let's see. Let me move that out of the way. There we go. All right. Let's see who we've got. Daryl's in there. Hey, Daryl. Happy New Year to you. Let's see. Lori is in there. Ken is in there. Hey, Ken. By the way, a lot of folks in here tonight, and I wasn't even sure that we would do it tonight. I was thinking maybe we do tomorrow night, but you know what? I think tonight's the right night. So Sunday night, back to normal, get back in the regular groove of things. Anyway, let's see. Ken's in there. Dan Jefferson's in there. Got a couple of Floridians there. Colin Krem out in Albuquerque's in there. Hello, sir. Let's see. My dad's in there. Mac Marine. Yeah, he says he hopes my back is better. Oh, man. I strained my back. I don't know what I did. I didn't lift anything. I didn't make any sudden movements, but I stepped down into the garage. Gosh, I guess it's been, I think it was on Monday. It was Mom's birthday, the 26th, Monday, I think it was. And, man, I felt this spasm in my lower back. And anyway, more about that in a minute, but it is doing much better, Dad. Thanks. Carl and Peggy Q are in there from Missouri. Jimbo Miller's in there. Hey, Jim, from Omaha. Matt Aaron from Detroit. Well, he's not from Detroit. Where are you guys at, Matt? You're in Michigan, I know. And let's see. Getting old. Well, you know what, Dan? I still feel 20 on the inside. And thanks to my healthy eating over the last year, I feel physically better than I probably have in 2, maybe 3 decades. But I don't know what it was. But Livonia, that's right, Katie. I knew it was one of those, Lithonia or Livonia. But anywho. But yeah, Dan, so I've got a big, I spring into a new decade this year in March. More about that later. All right, let's see. All right, so that's everybody. Wow, good crowd in here tonight. New Year's Day. And wow, did anybody watch that Georgia game last night? Holy smoke. Now that was football right there. That was a very entertaining game. And I really didn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. I'm not a big Georgia fan, follow them. But anyway, a great game. All right, March the 10th.
Matt Aaron, March the 10th. All right. Well, let's see. Speaking of birthdays, we have had quite a number of birthdays come and go since we were last together on. Let's see. It would have been the 218th edition of Speaking of Zane, and we would have met on December the 18th because it was the day after Reese Across America. And yes, and Matt, I saw they've lost every bowl game in the last 6, 7 years that they've played it. I think that's true. But yeah, so let's see. Katie and Matt have an anniversary on the 8th, and Kayla's birthday is on the 11th. That's in March you're talking about. Yeah, I remember that. I remember one of them was in that window there. But speaking of birthdays, we've had some birthdays over the last couple of weeks since we were together. Our oldest son, Tyler, who was born at REF Lakeheath in 1985, turned 37 on December the 21st. He was our very first. And Lori was, were you 20 yet, Lori? Maybe 20? But her first child overseas, no internet, no, cell phones, none of that stuff. Just, we didn't even barely know where babies came from. And she was in labor for a couple of days and birthed the 10.5 pound baby. But so Tyler's birthday was on the 21st. And then my mom's birthday was on the day after Christmas, Sunday Monday, December 26th. My mom turned 78 years old. And she looked great. She recognized me right when I walked in. Oh, my firstborn. And I quickly added on, and your favorite. And then my little brother Brad showed up later. But anyway, but it was good to see Mom. More about that in a minute. And then Zane's birthday was on the 29th. 33, Zane would have been 33. 33 years old on December 29th. He was born in Nebraska, about in that kind of weather that they were having recently. Right, Lori? Wasn't it like below zero that whole week? My mom actually came up to Nebraska, and Tyler was 4 when Zane was born, and December 29th. And he was a big old boy, too. The doc had to go in there with forceps or a shovel or something and pull his big head out. And his head might have been bigger than Tyler's, but I think he weighed slightly less than Tyler, but still, what, Lori? 10.5 pounds. So Lori's first 2 babies were 10.5 pounds or more. But anyway, yeah, it was cold when Zane was born there in Omaha. He was born at Bergen Mercy Hospital in Omaha. Let's see. Yeah, so he had just celebrated his 26th birthday on the 29th. December 29th, 2015, just right at a month before he passed. And then yesterday was our little granddaughter, our youngest son, Jackson's daughter, Carson. She was officially 3 years old yesterday. We've had a couple of birthday parties for her. Not that she's spoiled or anything, but she had another birthday party today. And wore her birthday ballerina dress and all of that. She's down the hallway in the bed right now. They had some fireworks going on around here today, and she just scared of the fireworks. Anyway, so I think I got all of the birthdays that we have had over the last couple of weeks. Tyler, Mom, Zane, and Carson. That's a lot of birthdays. Okay, well, let's see. So what was it? Last week, so we didn't have Speaking of Zane, but on that Friday before Christmas Eve, I think it was, I got a stomach bug. And oh my gosh. And then a couple others had it. Hannah was sick, but she's got a kidney stone, I found out. So totally unrelated. We thought maybe something was going around in the house. It was intestinal. But man, that took me out, and I'm pretty resilient. I don't get sick that often, and it took me out for a good couple of days, and then gosh, after I got all squared away with that, um, I decided I'd go down and see Mom for her birthday, and I woke up and I had hurt my back, and I'm I can't even get out of the bed. I'm texting my dad. Well, Dad, I'm not coming. I'm not coming down today because my back. And anyway, so I stayed. This would have been Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. I was going to go down, and I ended up staying home another day and let my back recover a little bit. But then I went down. It's a 200-mile drive, and it's right through the heart of Atlanta. We're north of Atlanta, so there's no way to avoid Atlanta when you go south. So that's the part I always dread. But getting through downtown was okay. It was on Wednesday that I finally got on the road to drive down. And Lori was looking after. Hannah had to work all week, and so Lori was sort of on call for Carson or Everett, so she didn't go. But I drove down, and it's 200 miles, so 3 hours if there's no traffic. But is there ever no traffic in Atlanta? There was traffic from the airport to Macon. It was ridiculous. Anyway, 4.5, almost 5 hours later to go 200 miles. I got there and had a good time. Got to see Mom and Dad, Sharon. My brother Brad came by. My cousin Robert, who's a couple years older than me, came by. He's an Army vet. And then my nephew, Cody, who is an Army officer. He's my brother Terry's oldest son, lives there in town. He came by. And so I don't know how it is. They always know when I'm coming to town. My sister managed to, hey, Tom's going to be here. They call me Tommy. Anyway, had a really good visit. I would have stayed longer, and Lori encouraged me to stay longer. And I certainly would have, but I had a dentist appointment on Friday that I had to get back for. And it's one that had been rescheduled from like September or October. And anyway, who knows when I'd have been able to get back in there. But anyway, so I drove back. I stayed the night, Wednesday night, spent a good bit of the day there on Thursday and helped Dad. Dad got a new computer for Christmas. I was helping him get a few things set up on it, but and then drove home. Of course, I stopped at Buc-ee's on the way down and Buc-ee's on the way back. It's a perfect place to stop there in Fort Valley, Georgia, just on the interstate. Anyway, so it was a really good trip. I wish I could have stayed longer. I'm not going to wait so long. I'm going to go down there. Lori had actually, I don't know if Kelly's in here tonight, but don't tell her. Lori has arranged something for Kelly, and it was manufactured and finally delivered to us. And now we just need to hand deliver it to Kelly at my Warriors place. And Lori's like, well, why don't you drive on down and give this to Kelly? And I would have maybe, if it hadn't have been for my back on the front end of the week and then the dentist appointment on the back end, it just didn't work out. But anyway, I'm going to need to get back down there, spend some more time with my dad. I know he's got another project or two in the works. He's always thinking like 3 or 4 projects down the line. He's been doing a lot of work on their house down there. And first time I had seen the new driveway, and first time I had seen the new bathrooms that him and Cody and Sharon renovated. They look awesome. But he's got some more projects in the works, and I might try to go down there and help him with one of those projects sometime. Got plenty of time I can take, but anyway, it didn't work out this week. But I had a good visit there, and my back did hurt on that drive. Oh my goodness! But it is much better. It's so much better today that I went for a 3-mile walk today, and there was a couple of days there I couldn't walk very well. But anyway, I did get a good walk in today in the neighborhood, and it was 65 degrees, so even better. But the back is much better. But all right, well, let's see what else we got going on this week. Well, remember we talked about this on the 18th about Steve Shirley's retirement ceremony that was coming up during that week. I think on the 20th or 21st. And they had to postpone it in Omaha because it was so cold. It was 30 below zero, and they postponed his retirement ceremony. But they ended up having it this past week. So, Steve, congratulations on your retirement. Steve did 27 years in the Air Force and then 20 years with Stratcom as a civilian. And he has served well. And now him and Kathy are going to do some traveling. He's got a couple of grandkids. But good on you there, Steve. All right. Well, let's see what else we got going on. Oh, I don't know if my buddy Aaron's in there. Aaron from Michigan, who is an Army vet and founded the Running to Honor 5K and all of that stuff. Well, the 5K, we're already planning for the 5K in July. Hard to believe. I think it's July 31st, I think, again this year. It turned out not to be as hot this past summer as we thought it might be here in Georgia. But anyway, it's not too early to register for the Running to Honor 5K, and you can do it virtually from anywhere. Many of you have done it with us over the years. This will be our 4th year that we've had a Speaking of Zane team. So all of y'all are welcome. It's for a good cause there. Aaron does some great work there and raising funds for his VFW and other affiliates up there, and just done a great job. Anyway, so we have a Speaking of Zane group that you can join. If you go to let me just put the link in the chat here so you know exactly what to do. But you got plenty of time. It's not until July, but I think they've got some special pricing through the end of January, early bird pricing. I don't even remember what it is, but I'll put the link in the chat there and you can go take a look at that. But yeah, so that'd be a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun with that here in town. Hey, S2, how's it going, buddy? We were just talking about you, wishing you a congratulations on your retirement, your second retirement. I was telling everybody assembled there, Steve, that you did 27 years in the Air Force and then 20 years working for Stratcom there at Offutt. And if my math is right, that's about 46 years worth of service there, Steve. So you have earned your retirement there. And I know you and Kathy have lots of great plans and stuff for traveling and with the grandkids and stuff. But good on you, buddy. Always enjoy spending time with Steve and seeing Steve when I go to Omaha or anywhere else that we meet up. San Antonio, where did we last see each other, Steve? And Branson, I think. But welcome, Steve. Congratulations again. All right. Yeah. So the Running to Honor 5K coming up. I know Steve has done that with us over the years too, but the early bird link is in the chat there. So you can go and check it out. Really good quality event for a good cause. Great quality shirts too. I use the shirt. I use one of the shirts every day when I do my walk. This wicking material. And speaking of that, I am happy to report I've lost another pound. I'm currently at 66 pounds lost. I can taste 70. I've just got 4 more pounds to reach that goal. So be rooting for me there. I'm going to try a few little tweaks in my regimen. Probably not so much in the diet. I don't know yet, but because I'm pretty strictly carnivore, ketovore, mostly meat, protein. But I got a couple of ideas to tweak physical activity and some other things. See if I can. I was stalled there for a little bit. You guys remember, but 66 pounds now, so probably didn't hurt that I had an intestinal flu or something. But anywho. Yeah, so speaking of the running to honor, got 3 miles in today, like I mentioned. Okay, let's see. So, Lori's got something really cool going on here in the neighborhood that I'm sure she will share with us as things develop. But no secret that she has really been grief stricken with Zane's loss, and with that has come, I think, if I'm describing accurately, um, a little bit of uncertainty about how to channel that. Um, anyway, I think she may have stumbled onto something here in our neighborhood. Um, our neighborhood is called Bentwater, and it's not a little neighborhood. I don't know. There may be a couple of thousand homes out here, and that's because it's all around, in and around an 18-hole golf course. So it's a pretty good size area. So a lot of families out here, and of course, there's a Facebook page for the neighborhood and everything. So anyway, a lot of things go on the Facebook page. Anyway, Lori through the Facebook page and some queries and different things, she stumbled on to maybe an opportunity to facilitate or at least coordinate a like a grief support group. Turns out that there's a lot of interest in that among some of the folks here in the neighborhood. Even Lori stumbled on through this communication a Gold Star mother that lives right here in our neighborhood. And anyway, so she's working on setting up her own Facebook page for that and figuring out where they might be able to meet, maybe at the clubhouse or the library over here or something. But anyway, so stay tuned about that. I know that as that develops, Lori will want to share information about that. I think it's a great thing. Um, so stick around for that. Okay, so hat of the week, hat of the week, hat of the week. Hat of the week always has something to do with what's going on here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum. And in honor of our friend Steve Shirley and all his years of service, especially that with Strategic Air Command and later STRATCOM, I decided I would wear my SAC t-shirt and a SAC ball cap, all for my friend Steve Shirley. So how about that for Hat of the Week? Shout out to Steve. Good on you, pal. All right, let's see. My Aunt Mary's in there. Hey, Aunt Mary. Yeah, it's Sunday. I know the days over the holidays really get kind of goofy, and it's hard to keep track. That's for sure. And we're off work. I'm off work tomorrow, so it feels like a Saturday to me. I've got myself conditioned that it feels like a Saturday. But anyway, there you go. Okay, well, let's see. I think that gets us opened up pretty good. I do have a couple of this week in military history items. I didn't really go searching that hard today, but I did find out that on January the 1st of 1962, that the Navy SEALs were formed. SEALs, sea, air, and land. I think that's right. Sea, air, and land. Oh, hang on, Lori. I'm going to find that. Hang on just a second. Okay. So that was the first thing. And then there's another birthday. And this one's a little bit newer. But on December 20th, it turns out, 2019, you guys probably remember this, was the creation of the Space Force, which is now an official branch of the service. Wow. All those years that we had, just the four branches, five if you count the Coast Guard. And now we have the Space Force. So happy birthday to the Space Force and to the Navy SEALs. How about that? All right. Well, let's see. I'm going to go. Let me go find what Lori's talking about here. You guys may have seen me post about it, but hang on just a second. Cue the Jeopardy music. Okay. Well, turns out Lori is sort of the queen of the ultra customized gift. And she knows I don't like gifts. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. So she feels like in order for it to be meaningful, she customizes to the hilt. Anyway, she got this. She knows I'm a Hawaiian shirt guy. She had this Hawaiian shirt made. What do you think I think about that, guys? With the 135 on there. It's absolutely phenomenal. And if anybody's wondering, its tail number is 054. So how about that? Can you guys see that okay? Pretty cool. It's kind of large. She forgot that I'm not a 2X anymore, but that's okay. I'll wear it over a t-shirt. But I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, so next time I come down there to my Warriors place, Ken, I'll definitely have this shirt in tow. But so that's one thing. And then the other, she asked me a little bit ago for a couple of pictures. Give me a couple of pictures of you, this, that, and the other. And I didn't think anything of it. Probably been several months ago, but here's what she had made. See how big that is? It's on a canvas. It's kind of got this wood grain look to it, like an old, like it, like it should be from the 40s or something. But it really is an awesome thing here. But those aren't even those are two different pictures. That's a picture of me, and then it's a picture of one of the planes. And whoever did this does this goofy merging and everything. But anyway, I thought that's kind of cool. It hangs up in my I Love Me wall in my man cave. So yeah, she outdid herself this time, appealing to the nostalgia for sure. So good stuff. I'm glad she reminded me to show you guys that. But I don't know where she finds all this stuff, but she does. She got a really cool thing for Jackson. It's a wood. I wish I had it up here. This guy on Etsy has an Etsy site, and he's a woodworker, carves wood and stuff. Well, anyway, and he'll commemorate something, but he's really into aviation. So she wanted to make this thing, and it's about maybe half the size of that in carved wood, but it's for Jackson's first solo. So you give him whatever details you have. Like I told him, it's when you fill out the form, the airport was KRYY, McCullum, Kennesaw, Georgia, KRYY. So with that, he pulls up the template for the runway and everything, and he gets that carved of the runway with everything that you would have on your pilot. I forget the name of those, the diagram. There's a proper name for it, but anyway. But you get the overlay of the airport, and then he had Jackson McDonald first solo, February whatever 2022 or whatever it was, and the tail number of the aircraft, the call sign. I had all that stuff because I tracked it on FlightAware, and I was there when he did it. Anyway, I had all that info, and they've very customized it, and then he'll have that forever, his first solo. And anyway, good stuff there. I'll if I can get it from him or get him to take a picture of it, I'll post it and you guys can get a close look at it. It's hard for me to describe it, but you get the idea. Anyway, all right, let's see. Let's move on to our couple of challenges here that we've been doing for years now. One of them is Veteran Cemetery Challenge, and I know we had some visits since we last met. Daryl has been to Jefferson Barracks at least a couple times I know of. And Jim Miller this past week went to St. John's, where his wife Deborah is buried there in Bellevue, North O area. And Carl and Peggy. Carl, I think you guys are responsible for another new one for us at Mount Calvary Cemetery in Kansas City, Kansas. That's where Carl's parents, I believe, rest. And Carl made a visit there and placed a wreath, I believe, didn't you, Carl? And then our friend Spud, I don't know if you guys remember Spud. Spud drops by here every now and then, but Spud was a tanker pilot, and now he's a retired Delta captain. And you've heard me talk about his ball caps, pilotballcaps.com. And anyway, he leads a VFW there in Colorado, but their group from the VFW went out to Lafayette, Colorado Cemetery for Reach Across America. So that was a visit that we didn't have last week. So if I add all those up, 5 visits this last week, one of them new, and we're sitting at 735 visits to Veteran Cemetery, 166 different locations. How about that? So we are getting up there. So thank you guys for every time you do that. Thank you for letting me know, and I can document it, and we can herald it. Good stuff. And Carl, I need to add your 2 that are new ones for us to the map. So be on the lookout for that. And that Lafayette, Colorado cemetery might be a new one for us too. So I might have to check that as well. All right. Well, think of that challenge. We had some last minute thank yous come in this afternoon. Thank you guys for that. But here's what I know about over the last couple of weeks. I know there's many more than I have accurately documented, but I know that Jimbo thanked this just a couple of days ago, went to the base. Jim Miller, I'm talking about, thanked the gate guard, who also thanked him. And then he ran into a guy. Jim, I forget where you said you were at, but he ran into a guy. They struck up a conversation because Jim was wearing some of his his USAFE memorabilia, or I forget what Jim said he had, maybe a hat or a shirt or something. But anyway, this guy said, "Hey, I was in USAFE," and turns out it was one of our radio operators, Bruce Chapin. Right? Did I get that right, Steve-O? And turns out he was. I think he was his team chief on the dog team that Amy was on. I think I'm getting all that right, but that was kind of cool. And then, so Dad had 3, Matt had 3 vets, a sailor, a Marine, and he didn't know what the other one was. So good job there, Matt, up in Michigan. And then I had Army this week. And then my dad had Dad. So Dad had this guy at Lowe's. Is he a Marine and an Army vet? Kind of unusual, but that's true for my brother Terry as well. But so Dad had the one guy at Lowe's. He had an Army guy at Walmart. Then he had a Navy guy at Lowe's. So Dad was wearing his USS Midway hat when I went down to visit. I never know what hat he's going to have on. He had his Midway hat on. He must have been wearing the Midway hat at Lowe's because he ran into a sailor who said that he refueled the USS Midway. His ship refueled the USS Midway. So how about that? And then Carl said he had at the Chiefs game, ran into a law enforcement officer who was an Army vet, thanked him, and then a Korean War Army vet Carl ran into. So good job there, Carl, today. And Ken's piping in now with, let me add yours, Ken. And Air Force, thank you yesterday. Good stuff. So if I add that, we had 12 thank yous this week. And with your addition, Ken, it takes us to the 1,890 mark. How about that? 12 for the week, 1,890. So 10 more until we hit 1,900. So we are getting up there. All right. Well, thank you guys for doing that along with me. I tell you, I have a good time when I'm. I don't always just say thank you. It depends on the circumstances. I might just strike up a conversation or ask somebody, "Hey, where's that hat from?" Or just to get a conversation, and it inevitably, winds up with thank you or whatever. I had a couple of cashiers at the Kroger thanked me yesterday and actually asked me a lot. Where were you stationed? What did you do? How many countries have you been to? And I had a really good time. A couple of teenagers, just chatting with them about that. Good stuff. All right, so that's the Thank a Vet challenge. And then the only thing on the organization front, I already mentioned the Running to Honor 5K coming up. I think it's true that Aaron raised almost $16,000 last race, last summer for the VFW there. He's been helping them outfit the VFW there with solar. And that has made not only is he funding the equipment, but it's in turn saving the VFW on their monthly electricity bill. So it's a win-win there. So good on you, Aaron. And yeah, and that's about it for the orgs. We will have Wreaths Across America will have their wreath pickup coming up. I believe for us at Georgia National, I think the wreath pickup will be on Saturday the 14th. Saturday the 14th, I believe they said. So I'll make a point of going out there. It's always good to get out there, and it's pretty quick actually. If you get enough volunteers out there, it's pretty quick work to to get all those wreaths picked up. A couple of ways you can do it. I like to bring a rake, a big leaf rake, and then you can put multiple wreaths over the neck of the rake, and then you can drag it. And that way you're not just carrying wreaths, you're actually dragging 5, 6, 7, 8 wreaths. Anyway, a little trick I've learned over the years. But so I don't know, every cemetery is going to be different in the amount of time, but I would say a good many of them will be on that Saturday the 14th. So it'll be an opportunity there. All right. Speaking of Wreaths Across America, in our Heroes Lost and Wounded segment, my mother-in-law posted about this just a few days ago. I don't remember when exactly it happened, but it must have been 16th, 17th, but in Benton County, Arkansas, a Benton County sheriff detective was on a motorcycle escorting in one of the tractor trailers for Wreaths Across America, and bike hit a curb or something, got out of control. Anyway, he had a collision with the truck and unfortunately was killed. Just terrible. I didn't look his name up, but I know the name has been published now, but just terrible accident for sure. Okay, well, let's see. I think that is about it, gang. It feels good to get all caught up. I tell you, with 2 weeks in between, I felt like I'm getting behind here, but I'm glad you all showed up tonight for Speaking of Zane, and we'll look forward to next Sunday night, get back into kind of a regular routine. I'm glad that the days are getting longer now. We've passed the shortest day of the year, which is Tyler's birthday. 21st of December, I think, is winter solstice, right? So shortest day of the year. But I'll tell you, it wasn't Lori's shortest day of the year when she was in labor with that son of a gun. But anyway, he was able to go down to Savannah, where his 2 kids and their mother live, this past week. I haven't talked to him in a couple of days, but I know he went down and had an opportunity to visit with them, which is good. Okay. Well, I think that's it, folks. I hope everybody has a good week. Next Sunday night, I think you guys hear me always talking about our veterans group at work and all the things that we do at work with veterans. And we have close to 800, I think, veterans of our 8,000 employees. But I have a little bit of news about that once it's made public this week, I'll be able to share with you next Sunday night. But great to have everybody in here. Happy New Year. Best of the new year, 2023. And we hope you guys will ride along with us here on Speaking of Zane as we say his name to keep his memory alive and make sure that he's not forgotten. And we sort of swerve into other things related. And so glad that you guys come alongside us. And like I've mentioned over and over again, this is my therapy. And you guys are my therapist. So thank you very much for that. And we'll look forward to seeing everybody next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane. God bless.